Hello and welcome to the Midwest Mainline. Just off in the distance there was the one of our Hiawatha's travelling to Grand Rapids. We are sat at Minneapolis, obviously, as it says there in the bottom corner, which I only just noticed. We have a lot of people as well over there at the industrial line. We may need to throw another bus on there. That's fine though. As long as they're getting people to and from our station, that's money in our pockets. Now, before we get going today, we have the small matter of our first stage of the voting. You're going to send me to, well, it's looking like Europe. I'll throw the graphic up on the screen for the snapshot. We've still got a few hours to go on the voting, so if you pop back to episode 17, the vote should still be up depending on when you watch this. But it'll be closed about midnight, I would say, US time, about 6 GMT. Yes, as you can see, 50% at the time of recording or snapshotting. For Europe, it looks like, I mean, if I was a betting man, that would be odds on, wouldn't it? Currently, I want to take a look at the Zephyr shortly. There's been some discussion in the comments about. Oh yeah, get rid of the graphic. Otherwise you can't see anything. I can't see the graphic. But yes, there's been some discussion in the comments about the power and why I've got it on the slow line. It could go on the fast line, and it's sort of tempting, though I did ride it a couple of times up and down to see just how much it's held up by the freight, and it's not very often. And it only just barely gets to 75 before it's due to pull into either station. The links for this map and the playthrough are below this video, so if you want to go and check that out yourself, you can, and you'll see that it doesn't really get held up very often. So for now, we'll keep it there, but I will show you a little trick shortly on how you can see what it'd be like at 70 miles per hour. We're almost into 1958. We're still on quarter of a speed. I might just knock it up to half speed now, as we're going to replace this train too, which is another reason why I don't mind leaving the Zephyr on the freight line, as the only two, well, there's two of these, and the grain train, which is currently on its delivery, so it's probably up there past Hibbing somewhere, but this only operates annually or biannually, so every couple of years. In fact, we could see, couldn't we? How often are you running? Finances. Now these are annual delivery. Sometimes it's every other year, and sometimes it's each year. There we go. And yeah, that's not really going to get in the way, is it, of our Zephyr? Well, there he goes. There goes our Zephyr now. He's up to 60. Maybe he was slowing down for a signal. He's actually quite nippy, isn't he? Right, let's get this little experiment out of the way. Because if we go and look at the Zephyr, which I incorrectly stated in the comments that multiple units are somewhat nerfed in Transport Fever 2. However, I looked up the stats for these Zephyrs, and they did indeed. The first ones had 600 brake horsepower, which if we go here, does it show you brake horsepower here? I hope so. There we go, 609. Spot on. So they are correct. That's what they used to run at. Not nerfed at all. Now we have an EMD GP9. Is that a new shunter, or is that a mainline train at 65 miles an hour? I don't know. They're kind of helper units, aren't they, those things? I could be wrong. Pushing trains up hills like Hibbing Climb. But anyway, yes, I wanted to show you a little trick on here. If we go to manage vehicle, you'll see it says mediocre, but that's based on 110 miles per hour, and it takes 6 minutes or 11.2 thousand meters, 11.2 kilometers to reach 110. However, it's currently on the slow line, so if we add a light state car here, it's now limited to 75 miles an hour. And if we go back down here, you'll see it actually takes nearly 4 kilometers to get up to 75, yeah, which isn't too bad, is it? Now, if we do the same thing with the Hiawatha's, wherever they are, Midland Main Line, not quite, Midwest Main Line, and we pick one of these and we throw on a state car, you'll see it takes about 3 minutes to get up to 93, so it's definitely slower. But I've also noticed they're not very frequent on the main line, so there is room to thread in the Zephyrs or whichever train we have in the future as a passenger train. I kind of like it as a commuter not being on the main line, the US version of a pacer or a sprinter, where they tend to get them off the fast lines and onto slow lines and share freight lines. But anyway, if we do the same trick here and just add a state car on the back, you'll notice it only takes 127 seconds. So 2.2 kilometers to get up to 75 miles an hour. That's the difference in acceleration, and why I've chosen to throw our Zephyrs or our commuter trains off onto the freight lines here. Things are going to change. We're going to upgrade these. They're going to run at 75 mile an hour tops, and we want to make sure they've got a bit of power. They are sort of a local delivery service, aren't they? Wow. Okay. Yeah, which is going to help. I didn't realize we're running over here. We're actually wasting some goods. That's good. That's good. This is perfect timing, isn't it? Shall we modify these trains then? We're just going to go with a straight replacement. Let's figure out what we're going to do with this train. If we go to locomotives, what we got? In the steam department, we've got the Class 9000. An option. It doesn't get up to 75 miles an hour. We're not going to use the Hiawatha's. I mean, they could, right? They could haul freight. I just noticed here, they were built by Alco. Doesn't that look like the perfect upgrade for our Hiawatha's? I know. It will be sad to see them go. But I think progress is required. We're going to keep our steam engines alive for a bit longer. I'm just going to say, I thought this was a bug, but similar to well spotted, by the way, the few of you in the comments who noticed that I called it a bug. And what I did was press this and just closed it for the trucks in the previous episode. Well, I've done this sometimes as well and thought it was a bug, which is just hit replace for and your trains will vanish because there's nothing in here, even though you have that selected. I don't know, doesn't feel very intuitive. But yeah, just keep an eye on that. I might get used to it, hopefully. But anyway, back to this. We've got we're obviously, oh, it's another Alco. Look at that. We're obviously not having this on the main line pulling freight. It doesn't get up to speed. It's got only a little bit more horsepower than the Zephyr. We have this one. This was our new one that we unlocked. This was the EMD GP 9. Apparently became one of the most successful diesel locomotives ever built. Is that in the world? Might be. I sort of picture them being helper units in modern times. I could be wrong. These do 65. Technically, better than our steam version here of Class 9000. These are 2.1 million in maintenance or running costs each year. And these would be only 809,000. What about power though? Oh, power's pretty poor. Yeah, they're not really up to mainline duties, although you could technically have 3 of them, which would equal almost, not far off, the same cost as a Class 9000. That's an idea, isn't it? The other option we have is to electrify the mainline, both freight, just the section between that we're interested in, of course, which would be between here and Grand Rapids. That's an idea, because that's a lovely train and we get to see it. The running cost is a little better than the 9000. Am I right? A little better than the 9000, and power wise it's only a little off, but it does 75 miles an hour. Ooh, that's sort of tempting, isn't it? I'll leave that up to you guys in the comments. I would like to see I kind of want to see what these will do on the main line. 3 of these. It's because we could afford it. Would we need 3? I don't know. Maybe we could have 2. What sort of speed? 40 seconds to get up to 65 miles an hour. That's impressive, but we don't have any wagons on the back. Now, what do? We're going to go with our new box cars, which is these. They'll be carrying our tools back. We're currently doing 96 and 96. It's 8 and 8. But these do carry 18 as opposed to 12. So don't need 8, maybe 7. We'll see what the speed's like. Well, that will do, wouldn't it? What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yes, good counting. So those, which match our train, the colours. And we could add these on the back to match it. There we go. Is that 6? That's 5. Mediocre. That's still good, isn't it? To get up to 65 miles an hour. 85 seconds. That's lovely, isn't it? 2 of those instead. Right, that's what we're doing. We'll get... I know I said I was going to keep steam. However, for our big pullers that are heading all the way up the Hibbing climb, we're still going to keep our steam engines for a little bit longer before we start moving on to diesel. And I'm seriously now considering electrifying the main line. Do we like this? We want to do that though. Replace them all, right? That should do it. 22.8 million. I mean, money's not an issue any longer. I'm going to say we do this. I like the look of it. Let's do it. Oh, changing this didn't change that. That's unfortunate. Right, well, I remember how to do this. What did we have? We had 2 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, do you know, we could have this one with a couple of different colour wagons on the back. What with its tools, isn't it? Let's just go a hint of tool. Is that should be right. 108. Brilliant. Are these the same capacity? They are indeed. Get rid of the colour though. We'll have those all the same colour. 216 should be both. Yes, replace for 22. So 44.5 million. Beautiful. But we didn't mess it up. Lovely. Should we see how those are going? I mean, they get replaced immediately. We're leaving him. I mean, technically, it could be one of those, couldn't he, that we just replaced? I do like these two doing their workhorse duties. Where is our new train? Let's see him come round here. Do we like the... That's the one with the different coloured cars thrown in there. Wagons. Ooh, do you know, he's got a move on. They look good, don't they? Look at you go. Oh, he's definitely got a move on. We didn't lose any of our goods. We carry a little bit more now, and we should run a little bit faster. Let's go into details. How are you actually doing? Because sometimes these figures don't always line up. 137 seconds. Pretty much half full, which is what he's going to be. We can check as he fills in here. Do we like that, guys? I do. That was a good choice. I love this. I absolutely love it. Yes, we're sticking with them. But, however, we may still electrify the main line. I'm sort of tempted just so we can have a look at more trains. Let's see what sort of power he gets up to with a full half load, as it were. Oh, what's up with... Ooh, you're quite a bit longer, aren't you? Ah, right. Yeah, you're quite a bit longer. Oh no, just a touch. Well, we can extend this section a little bit. Down there, he should move up. We might as well add another cargo platform on there. There we go. Hit play. He should udge up. Oh, he concertinaed. Lovely. So he'll go up to there and turn round. Do we like the... Oh, you're gone. Do we like these? We can have a look like this, can't we? Oh, yes. I do like this. You're a good train. Look at that. With the lights. The detail on this is lovely. We're heading off that way. Alongside. We could stand on the footplate, couldn't we, almost? Come on, down here. Oop. There. Oh, you're cutting into the engine. I wish you wouldn't do that. There we go. We might get hit by a few signals. We could always set up front like we did with the Class 9000. Yeah, because we're literally getting hit by that. Can we walk up here? Sort of. We're getting taller as we do. Well, there's a nice kind of view. Like we're looking over the back. We're on this footplate here. We're very tall. And we're no longer getting hit by trees and signals. Well, there we go. What sort of speed are we doing? We're already doing higher speed than our previous loco that was pulling the slower wagons. That's good, isn't it? So we're going to definitely get up to 65, which means we're not going to hold the Zephyrs up as much. And the rate is slightly going to increase. We may need to start thinking about these waiting to pick up. So we go. That's one upgrade done, guys. We have a fancy new double-headed train there. Do you know? And there goes the counterpart. Yes, I'm liking it. Are you up to speed? There you go. He's up to speed at about the not even halfway point. Lovely. Brilliant. How's everything doing down here? We're doing okay. Do you know, we could use this view. I don't use this very often. The city view. And you can pull that up and you can adjust it as need be. It's a bit hard to grab it. But anyway, there we go. Don't know why you're highlighting that. You could have expanded it. Come on. It's got this. It's a scroll bar, so you can scroll backwards and forwards. So our cities growth 90%. If we, in fact, organise them as such. So both Minneapolis and Hibbing, I called it growing. I don't know what to call it. Have the best growth. Yeah, they're our big towns. Grand Rapids will not be, because both Grand Rapids and, well, no, Bloomington's not getting served any goods. However, Grand Rapids is getting served half of theirs and not to full capacity. We are going to be somewhat restricted by the amount we can deliver to them at some point as maximum throughput from our raw resources. Hibbing is now growing quite rapidly, isn't it? You'll see here we've got stations are very good, so we're keeping the stations clear. Traffic is very good for everything. That means there's not too much build up on the roads at the moment. Mediocre, poor and poor. We could maybe do something with Minneapolis and Bloomington on that side of things. It might be because our Hiawatha's quite old now and they'll need a bit of a spruce up or a replacement. I'm doing it, guys. Some of you will be upset about this, I know, but I do feel like, look at how many connections we've got there. It's fairly even, except for Hibbing. That's our connections via public transport. That's quite interesting. I don't know why you're not up with these. You should be. We might not be catching everywhere with our tram service, so we could improve that possibly. Same with cars. There are some traffic issues, but we could deal with those a little bit later. Right. Bloomington also wants tools. We could probably manage that. We'd need to hook up this extra logging camp. What's the next one we do? Talking of logging camps, I feel like we can have the same sort of thing. The twin little diesels there. You're looking a bit rough. In fact, pause it as you pull in here. What are we going to replace these guys with? I'm tempted to say big boys, but I want to kind of leave a big boy for a special occasion. Or the big long hauls. Do you know what? Oh, don't do it like that because it didn't update. Select that. I'm saying these two are just fine for this. I think they'll even pull up the grade, won't they? How much are you currently carrying? Let's take a look. 192. And we're not carrying enough. This will give us a faster train with possibly better power up the gradients. There's no point looking now, you haven't done anything. Right, let's add these on. What sort of capacity? Anywhere near 192, I'd rather go over. 198. 198. And what sort of oomph do you have up climbs? They are very, very powerful, aren't they? They really do pull them up the hill there. I mean, could we just get away with 1? No, I think 2's perfect. 2 is absolutely perfect and cheap. Much cheaper to run. Given the speed and what we're replacing, that is a solid upgrade. I mean, we could have a helper on the back, but that seems out of place, doesn't it? Really? It seems out of place. Now we've got to move this all the way forward. I mean, you could have it midway as well, but you would kind of want 2 at the front, 1 at the back would make more sense, especially for this hill. I sort of feel like the Hibbing Climb could use that, especially pushing a 9,000 up there. Anyway, if they're struggling. So what sort of power do we have? So it'll take 122 seconds to get up to 65. These currently take, although this is without a load, that's a little awkward, isn't it? These currently take 3 minutes and drop to 27 miles. This is a massive upgrade, guys. It's a massive upgrade. 44.7 million. We've got the money, but we are spending it. Oh, do you know what? Let's colour these ones. We didn't colour the last ones. The actual locos themselves. They kind of look cool. They're banoffee pie trains. I love it. I don't know. Banana and toffee. It works, doesn't it? Banoffee Pie Express. There we go. You're picking up the logs. Maybe that will give us a bit better rate. I'm hoping so. If we go here and only see what we can see. Ignore the balance for now. The rate is 367. That was our old rate. It's going to take a little while for that to update or upgrade. Yes, possibly. Do we like them in banoffee pie livery? I kind of do. I kind of do a lot. That pleases me. Bizarrely. Right, so there we go. We've got new logging trains on the run. We'll come back and check on the rates once they've done a couple of runs. We've now got this one still. Ooh, yeah, that one. I don't really mind him being what he is, except for we have the same issue, don't we? Doesn't he have a bit of a... Yeah, look, 4 minutes and drops to 23 miles an hour. You have to be replaced. You are struggling. You've always been struggling, and I've neglected that fact. Awkward. But can we get away with 1? It currently carries 144. And we have to consider that it's going to be running both this way and back again. As well, it's going to be now heading to the machines factory at some point. That's how I'm going to do that. We're going to just run these backwards and forwards, picking up midway and then dropping off and heading back again. Hopefully it should sort itself out. Yes, we're getting rid of you. Ooh, I don't know what to replace you with. I'm almost tempted to say a 9,000. Well, let's have a look. We're definitely not having this. That's saved for our mainline trains. We might need to have that one or this one, which is a much beefier train. 2.2 million. How much does the Hiawatha? Do you know, it's not much of a price difference. And that is quite the beast, isn't it? I like that train. That's not what you're doing, though. You are doing login trains. We'll keep these in reserve for if we decide to electrify. I'm really tempted. I'm really tempted. Even if it's just between Minneapolis and Grand Rapids, because we could have an electric commuter at some point. It's sort of tempting. Are we just going to rely on this? It seems the go-to train, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know what it will handle on its own. We could keep the steam train on. We could keep the Class 9000, although I feel like the Class 9000 and the big boy are both doing well on their long-haul duties, and this is what is essentially a short shunt, isn't it? Yeah, careful how you say that. Well, let's see. Let's see how he manages with about the same capacity, which would be exactly the same capacity. That's interesting. Mediocre. Well, see, he doesn't drop at all. He manages the hill climb. That's it, isn't it? Just a single one of these should do the job. I like that, guys. I like that a lot. And we'll colour him that colour. So he's going to be a banana pie. Rather than banoffee. I don't know where I'm going with that at all. Do you know what? Shall we do it? Replace it. Let's get you on there. What did I press there? What did I press? I probably didn't press the right thing. You Burke. Did I press this again? Probably. Hang on. Let's see. If you press this again, it clears it. Awkward. Yeah, you're not thinking, Mr. T. Should we try that again without... Ooh, yeah. Colour it as you go. Let's colour them brown. There we go. We'll have a couple brown and then a couple the actual colour. And then we've got a couple... I'm going to go with that because I like the idea of it. There we go. Replace for 13.8 million. Get on there. How are you looking? We'll go and take a look at him. You're down here. What do you look like? He is. Look, he's a banana pie. Just straight off. Am I hungry? Quite possibly. He doesn't look bad in that colour at all, does he? He's very yellow. That's cool. I like that. I like it. Well, he should speed up his mainline activities, which is going to help everything, isn't it? Absolutely. And here comes his cousins or brothers. Sisters. Brother and sister. There you go. They're teaming up to... Oh, how's the length of these? Nicely does it. And you're off. How do you pull away now? I want to check on this, actually. The next time we have a train come down here, whether we actually manage the climb, because these two climbs were actually a struggle for our previous trains. I'm going to guess these get up to speed. Let's just check, because it's got a full load now. Power rating 7 minutes. Yes, if we were just accelerating from a standstill, it would indeed take a while to get up there. However, there is the updated figures with a full load. When you buy the train, I'm pretty sure it doesn't account for or it's maybe just an estimation of the load. I'm not sure how it works it out, but this is working on the main line, and that's how it does it. 61 miles per hour. That's better than 23. State the obvious. As for these trains, how are you doing? I never really did I check these? I can't remember. I'd like to double check. Mediocre. You do indeed drop to 53. Okay, that makes a lot of sense then. How do you do up the hill there, Mr. Hiawatha? You actually maintain your speed. They're impressive trains, those, aren't they? Absolutely. Or impressive locos, I should say. I mean, the train itself is impressive. We do have some emission issues. That's the Midwest. Let's just take a look. Condition bad. Yeah, you're about done. When the condition is that bad, you get +4 on condition, which is not good. that just adds, doesn't it? And keeps adding to the nightmare of sound emissions. They're additive, so they'll just keep spreading out if you get a lot of trains that are really noisy, and trucks and private transport all add to it. I mean, it's not too bad, is it? It's not too bad. This area up here is like very peaceful. I mean, it's quite expensive to live over there. Love it. If we, that's average though. If we look at current, you'll see it does stay quite quiet for the majority of the time. But yes, these need replacing. I know you probably don't want to see it, but at the same time, they're due for a change. We could polish them up with high maintenance, and we may return them for something akin to a a rail tour. How about that? From maybe from Hibbing to Bloomington rail tour, but actually go via the freight lines just so passengers can see the different tracks. It'd be interesting to see if they used it as well. Okay, grand. What do you want to do, sir? Do you want to replace it? Will it remember our train names? Oh, that would be sad if it got rid of them. I like all the train names. There's only one way to find out, isn't there? Uncheck that. Let's go to replace train. Do we want to keep the same wagons on the back? They're the streamlined coach New Mexico. One thing we do want, we want to see what it's like with a single unit before we add, what do they call it? It comes with a cabless booster unit B, which oh, is that why it's called Alco PAPB? Well, that's really cool, isn't it? I mean, it does a decent speed. It's got really good power. But what passenger wagons do we have? We currently have these, which do 93 miles per hour top speed. What does our train do? It does 117. Okay, what does this do? 112. It's quite a bit heavier. The capacity is only one more, but it would allow us to get up to speed if it was even a thing. They sort of match, don't they, as well? I like them. Should we go with brand new? We currently carry about 100. That's too much, isn't it? That's too much. Yeah, you struggle up the hill and you've got a bit of variation in the climb. Should we pay through the nose? I mean, that's tempting. It would cost us 47.9 million. Nearly 48 million. We could take this one off and see how that would do. Why did you do it up there? Why? If this is just a bunch of carriages, surely that one needs to go at the beginning. If I put it down there, shove it up there, no, you just don't want to, do you? You don't want to. Never mind. Being able to drag these would be lovely too. Get you up there. How do you do now? Ooh, you're beautiful now. I mean, it still takes a bit of oomph to get up there. How are you doing compared to our Hiawatha's then? I mean, we are carrying a bit heavier passenger wagons, and we could possibly drop one off. Because these only carry, what is it? How many passengers do you carry? 108. Well, it's you should carry those. This one currently does. It takes 9 minutes. It doesn't lose speed. And 3 minutes to get up to 93. However, this one is looking to take... Where I've lost it. I've lost it down here. This one's looking to take 3 minutes as well. 6.8k. Or 6,800 meters, roughly. Fourth at well. Ooh, I don't know, guys. Apples to apples, right? What would it be with the same passenger wagons on? That's how you want to do it. Get those on there, 108. Then what would you do? And then it's better. It's a better train. It's definitely a better train. By quite a bit. Do I add the... Do you know what? We're going to go with the other one. It's still going to do a good job, I think, with these. I say if we go like this, 95, 6.2, and that takes... That's... Oh, but that's to get to... Yes. What happens if we just add one of those on to limit the speed to the same? Oh, it's way better, isn't it? Yeah, because that's to get up to maximum speed, you silly sausage. Brilliant. That's our new train, guys. That is our new train. It's going to cost us nearly 100 million. Oh, it's going to be sad. Please don't lose the name of our trains. What happened there? We gained a train. I didn't mean to... How did we add a train? That's a new one. Who are you? Who's this guy? Is that... Did we have 5? I thought we had 4. Do you know what? We don't really need you. Where are you, anyway? How did I do that? You're coming out the depot. Oh, I don't know how I did that. Answers in the comment how that happened. Get out. Don't want you. The good news is it's kept all of this. Ooh, we have a GM fishbowl. They're like the buses I remember. The US buses I remember as a kid. Alright guys, we've gone diesel. Almost, not all the way. We're gonna keep some of our trains on as steam, especially the big boy and class 9000. But for our serious lines, or our mainline, super mainline line, that's not a sentence. We've upgraded to modern age diesels. You are beautiful, I'm just saying. I love that it's kept the names. That's made me super happy. New Mexico, you're a little bit out the way. He looks happy, doesn't he? He looks super happy. Can we get on board and take a look? He just looks angry. I love you. You've also got a Space Invader on the front. Ooh, don't want to be that side. We get hit by a train. That's a nice view. What's it like in the cab? Are they ever going to sort the bizarre rendering in the cab where it half, there it goes, it vanishes. Half the scenery vanishes. I don't get why it does it. But you'll see the trees start to disappear. It's interesting. I don't get it. There we go. We can take a look at... Oh, close that. We can take a look at how those trains are doing in the next episode, I think. That would be a good idea. Is there anything I forgot to do? I think that's everything. We should sit down somewhere and admire our new network. Somewhere where we're going to see a lot of them, which would be on this big junction, as per usual. In fact, you could sit in between here, something we don't normally do. Which way do you want to look around, though? Ooh, looking at... down here. No, you can't see anything for trees. Well, you can if you sit there. That's kind of nice, isn't it? Or at the light just here. And you can see a little bit of the city. We've got the factories in the distance there. Okay, guys. That has been episode 18. When we come back, what are we doing? We'll have the results of our first stage of the voting as we watch our Zephyr go by. And our banana train carrying wood around. It's lovely, isn't it? I like that. You're distracted. That was the worst. Those two trains came down just as I had everything planned in my head for the outro. Now I'm just gone. Should we try it again? Alright, guys. Yes, no, I know what I was talking about now. When we come back, we'll have the results for the continent, and then we've got to pick 5 cities. I'll discuss more of that in the results on Monday. But Discord will play a role. Everybody in Discord will play a role. There's almost 300 of you in Discord, so you can play a role in shortlisting 5 countries in the winning continent. And it's free, Discord. You can pop along and join if you want to. The link to which is always in the video description. But we've got new diesels, haven't we? And they're looking good. We're going to check on how the rates have progressed when we come back. We're also going to start another delivery. We're going to begin coal and iron delivery to the steelworks just down the way there. There's a lot of smoke going on down there, I've noticed. So yes, we're going to get our first steelworks underway, and that's going to be another class 9000. No, it's not. It's going to be a big boy. Decided. There goes one of our grain trains. I'm really impressed with these new diesels we've got on. They're little workhorses, aren't they? They're wonderful. Alright guys, that's it. Thank you for watching. I'm all sorts of excited to see where you're sending me for the second series. I'm looking forward to the challenge. Alpine seems pretty high on the list from what I've been reading in the comments. And it was sad to say goodbye to the Hiawatha's, but progress must be made, and no doubt we'll see them again in further and future episodes. of a new series if we head back to the US. Or if we play some bizarre map where we have all the trains from around the world. There's one for the future. Anyway, until next time, take care.